You're listening to Miscast Commentary, where two guys have seen way too many movies and have way too much time on their hands.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Now here's your hosts, Joe Finley and Todd Murray.
Hey everybody, welcome to Miscast Commentary. I am Joe Finley.
I'm Todd Tebow, the Sailor Murray.
And we are bringing to you a miniature episode, which is always as miniature as it gets. To show you how miniature it gets, this is the beginning of the episode, and we're already 11 minutes in because we haven't shut the fuck up since I hit record. Oh, man. But a lot to talk about. And we got a cool movie coming next week. We're actually, for the first time in a long time, we're caught up. So the movie we're recording today is the movie that's coming out next week.
Oh, wow. That's going to freak me out a little bit, actually.
I know. Well, thankfully, you're off for a while, so we have to... See, we were going to do some recording last week, but I ended up falling a little ill.
Yeah, that's right.
And I turned out... I've got rapid tests, and I did all that stuff. You can actually see them up there. And I didn't... no, it's not a fly. It's not going all over the place. Where I pointed was the face. But
around the air.
But I was really worried because it was all sinus and it was all that, right? So I did the test, came out negative, it was fine. But I was literally my nose was running and stuff so badly that the episode would have consisted of me being like, anyway, so the
Oh, I like that.
And so it was just, I was like, you know what? For safety's sake.
You could then put every
drown.
time your nose, and like boogers will slide down the screen.
I'm not entirely convinced that I would have had to do anything for that to be the case. Like
Put your 3D glasses on now.
So that was that. But yeah, so we're doing a fun movie, and we're going to get into what we're doing for over the next couple weeks anyways, pretty soon. But first thing, we should probably talk about the biggest thing going, which is Spider-Man No Way Home.
Oh, yes. We actually saw it together.
Yeah,
romantic evening.
We went on opening night.
It was awesome. The crowd was jazzed.
Yeah.
I was jazzed.
I jizzed. What?
Oh, did I say jazzed? Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
It's really nice to be in a place where everybody's like into it.
And that was the thing. And
they were like more into it than I was. I was like, wow, this is random.
And I'm going to say right now, just because it's been out for a couple of weeks and everybody already knows the shit, like it was already well known what was going to happen during the movie and stuff. Anyways,
of course,
so
right when they're like, right when somebody's like, hey, let's find Spider-Man, and then they show, and then the moment they did this, everybody in the audience is like, woo, yeah, here we go.
Well, and a lot of people recognize right away too, because Andrew Garfield's eyes are the big Spider-Man eyes.
Oh,
right?
Funny, I did not actually.
Yeah, and then so they all were, and then they didn't even try with Toby. They're just like, we're putting Toby in because like we're not doing the unmasked reveal like a second time. Although that would have been fucking hilarious if he came out and he did it and it was some other dude who was Spider-Man. And they're like, what the hell? And then like Tobey Maguire's behind and just, hey, what's going on? There's this guy. There's extra Spider-Man. What?
I thought, like I said during the movie, that Willem Dafoe was amazing.
He was so good.
Kills Aunt May.
Yeah, that was...
Spider-Man has had a really bad run.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Up until now, so Ben back in the day, but...
Yeah. Well, no, but I don't
even
think that he had an Uncle Ben.
Oh, in this one, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's like she's just like single and ready to fuck.
I know.
No, I didn't.
Ready to mingle.
No, she is not ready to mingle.
Well,
There's a reason Happy was so happy for so long.
She broke up with him because she just wanted a booty call Happy. It's cool.
Yeah, well, joke's on her. She's dead. He could have protected her. But
yeah, but he didn't. Okay, so
fantastic.
Aunt May dies. Then he loses all of his friends because they have to like have their memory. Now he's just alone.
Yep. But here's the craziest thing too. So yeah, like there was
like poor fucking Spider-Man. Like,
well, and what's crazy too, there's actually rumors about what's going to happen next because people started asking right away, what's going to happen? They were asking him and Zendaya, and they were like, well, and you can tell that something has been talked about because of the way that they were very mum about everything.
Mum's the word.
Precisely. But one of the rumors that's out there, unsubstantiated at this point, but that the reason they made him forget Spider-Man is because the next Spider-Man movies are not going to be a part of the MCU. They're going to be back to Sony. But also featuring the same cast. So it would still be Tom Holland as Spider-Man and all that.
Oh, they must be pretty. They're like, okay, Sony, we've done 3 of these for you now. You're on your own.
But again, I don't know this to be the case.
Right.
But my assumption is that with everything they've been doing on the other side with Venom, with Morbius, which you also see in the Morbius trailer, if you haven't seen it yet, Vulture is in it. So
I did not watch the trailer.
Okay, yeah, the latest.
I read somewhere too that Morbius is the one who bit Blade.
That would be an interesting way to...
Back in the day, in the comics, he's the one who turned Blade into the Daywalker.
See, and this is the thing that confuses me even further, because Morbius, to me, seems like the most obvious place to introduce Blade, other than they've already had him in Eternals. You don't see him, but you hear him. But
he's like, I need to get new shades. You're like, was that Blade?
Yeah, that's got to be... He says something, he's like, I'm not paying taxes on this. And you're like, that's Blade.
That's Blade, all right.
I know that tax dodger anywhere. But I don't know why I do this. But yeah, no. So I'm like, oh, this seems like it would be the most obvious place. But Morbius is a Sony thing, and Blade is fully MCU.
Right.
So it's like, are they doing each other favors at this point? And that's why people think that they're moving. Well, obviously.
Yeah.
But like, you know, did they just loan Vulture to them to do that bit?
Right, probably.
Or are they moving everything over there was really my question.
Right.
But at this point we don't know. I hope that he stays a part of the MCU, but at the same time, I think that they're a little concerned over how much they're taking on right now, because they're just about to introduce the X-Men and Fantastic Four into the mix.
Sweet.
Plus brand new, like, pretty much they're replacing every single Avenger because they're all leaving, right? So they're
dead or whatever.
But you know what I mean? Like, I'm just talking about the actors not coming back too, right? So obviously we're getting a new Thor, we just got a new Captain America. Yelena could be a number of different things, but it's a potential replacement for
Black Widow.
Also, there's talk about something like the Dark Avengers coming up to play, and that's what that...
the Captain America dude. And Julie Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah, that's what they're thinking that's a part of, because she, in the comics, is a S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra agent.
Hail Hydra.
She's Madam Hydra. And so, like, there's all that kind of shit going on.
So Hydra's still going.
Then there was talk about Young Avengers with Kate Bishop and Yelena and Ms. Marvel and all these other ones that are coming up. So, like, there's a million different things that they have in play that they might just not have time to also deal with Spider-Man. But at the same time, Kevin Feige has said that Spider-Man was expected to be like a fairly large role in this phase.
Right.
So it's really hard.
Who knows?
Yeah,
I'm sure the deal's still going between them. They must be in bed. Well, obviously they're in bed, but I'm sure they'll stay in bed. But maybe now they're like, okay, we're going to focus this week. Take Spider-Man back.
And maybe they're just not doing any solos with him right now.
Right.
The next team-up thing they do, it'll be Spider-Man. And let's talk some more spoilers. We got to see a lot of cool fucking people come back to Marvel in the last few weeks. Yeah. Daredevil and Kingpin are back, baby.
Yeah, that was too well, unless he's dead.
Well, yeah, but we were talking about that.
I thought Hawkeye was absolutely the best of the Marvel shows. I think they're all good. But my favorite was totally Hawkeye. If you watch, I think before you watch Hawkeye, you should go through Avengers Endgame and Infinity War again and then watch it. Because it is like, wow, like everything that was in the shows, WandaVision, Loki, this is going to be future stuff.
Yes.
Hawkeye really dealt with like the past and all the shit that went down with Ronin and like all that. And I thought it was so fucking good. And the action was killer.
Yeah.
Kate Bishop, killer. She fucking got into a fight with Kingpin and survived.
Yeah. That's, it was bananas. And then to see, because my thing too, the first time when they introduced Kingpin just in the photo, I wasn't entirely sure that it was Vincent D'Onofrio.
Oh, I didn't know who the shit it was.
I was like, did they recast him? It's a really shitty, blurry photo. And I'm like, I don't know. It wasn't until I read somewhere after that it was definitely him. And I'm like, oh, okay, great. And then so you got that, but then Charlie Cox in Spider-Man. And
I thought
we're back, baby.
I thought that in the last scene, the Daredevil was going to show up and help Kate Bishop fight. Kingpin.
I would love to see him kind of pop in some.
I think
format.
he will be. I think he'll be.
Eventually. Now the question is, how are they going to do another show?
I'd like
to see.
I would like for Kingpin to be a much larger bad guy in the universe as well.
Well, because he's so many of their bad guys,
and they really. Showed the strength of him as well. Like he rips the door off the car. She smokes him with the car through the window. He's still going.
Yeah, I was going to say that's something like they showcased it a little bit in Daredevil, but not like this. Like he was superhuman.
Oh yeah, because he's supposed to be. Well, in Daredevil, in the prison scene, they showed him pumping iron, and it was just like the bench was just like, holy shit.
Absolutely. Like you knew he was strong and all that, but it was like when in a fight like that, I was just like, he just seemed so much more formidable in this one. Because he'd hit her and she'd go flying, and like you said, ripping the door off and all that stuff. Not that they misportrayed him or did anything bad with him in Daredevil. I loved it. It was just, I felt like they just kind of like exaggerated it that much more. Like
he's supposed to be able to take shots from like Spider-Man and shit. Yeah, you know what I mean. So like he's a tough hombre.
Yeah. Well, and that's something that was an interesting thing to mention too, because Andrew Garfield mentions pulling his punches. And he stops pulling his punches like
when
after Gwen dies.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, that makes sense because Spider-Man is so powerful.
He's super strong.
Much more so than even like Captain America or whoever else, that he would easily be able to kill people with a punch.
Oh, totally, yes.
And so I was like, yeah. So
he's
he
in
does
like
have
the top 10.
Yeah, absolutely. And like to see and yeah, I think
like in Civil War where he just like grabs the truck. Somebody throws a truck at him, a gas truck, and he's just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Which is what it is. Like, he is super fucking fast, super powerful, super...
And I think that just gets lost in the web swinginess of it all. It's like, oh, he swings around, he's got Spidey sense, he's got that. I was like, that's not even half of it.
That fight scene between him and Green Goblin where they're smashing through the levels of the floors of the apartment building.
Yeah.
And like I said to you after the movie was done, I forgot how powerful Green Goblin was.
I did too.
I totally only in his, like, when he goes crazy into the Green Goblin, then he's, like, super, I was like, whoa, like.
Yeah. But the, and he goes, like, full Arn Anderson and spine busts him through.
Through an apartment building.
Yeah, I've done that before. It's not the best.
Happens all the time.
Yeah, it's really good for the back, though, believe it or not.
Well, yeah, it depends.
But the big thing about it is the fact that in 2 weeks it crossed $1 billion, which is the first time anything's even come anywhere near that since the pandemic started. It's already, in 2 weeks, it is already the highest grossing movie of the year.
Wow.
So, I mean, take that.
I did not see this number. Guess I've been lost on my movie news here.
I just read it today. Actually, it crossed $1 billion.
Holy shit!
I was looking at the top 10, and I actually have the top 10. We'll talk about it next week for our next movie. But something worth noting is that the next week's movie did not make the top 10, and where certain things ended up is very weird and not indicative of what previous versions of it did and stuff like that.
I did
say that.
God. So I guess all the Game of the Years are coming out. I don't even know who's up. I know Metroid Dread has won a bunch.
Yeah.
Halo Infinite's actually supposed to be really good. I guess if somebody had an Xbox that I could pick out of the garbage dump.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of I've watched a lot of people like play it online and stuff like that. I'm not a big Halo guy.
I never was.
And so, I mean, all well and good.
I don't like the bad guys. I don't like those little dudes running around. I'm just like, oh, God.
Well, for CGM, I had to pick my pick for the Game of the Year. And of all the games that I reviewed and looked at, the only one I even liked was Metroid Dread. So I'm like, I'm going to pick Metroid Dread. Then I go in and somebody else picked it. I'm like, I thought we were picking the games that we reviewed. And somebody else grabbed it, so I'm like, oh, son of a bitch. So I had to, like, find something else, but I literally did not enjoy, other than, like, I enjoyed Cruise and Blast, but I'm not nominating that for Game of the Year.
I heard it was a very good, I heard it was a good game.
It's fun, but, I mean, it's not going to be Game of the Year, so I had to start looking, and I ended up downloading and playing Age of Empires 4. And I was like, that's it. It's my nostalgia tells me this is my favorite game of the year. And so, which it is actually up for, like, Game of the Year awards and stuff.
That Metroid Dread was an absolutely terrific game, but it should have been longer. It's my only gripe.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that it was a fairly short one.
Well, for me, like, but still, I think that once you got all your abilities, there should have been way more map.
Yeah.
To go through with, because, you know, you get an ability, and then you'd use the ability right away, and that would pretty much be it. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you'd use your multiple jump wherever, but everything else was like, no, I was like, oh, there should have been more game to really, you know.
Yeah, for sure. So anyways, so we talked about Hawkeye a bit, and the finale has come and gone, and it was fantastic.
Oh, we were talking to do you think that I don't think she shot him in the face or in the head.
No, see, and I
think she got shot. Someone shot her.
My assumption was originally that she got shot, but then I said, like I was saying to you, we had I was watching something that talked about what actually happens in the comic, and she literally does shoot him in the face. Like, that scene happens exactly the way, but when she shoots him in the face, he gets blinded, he doesn't get killed, and then that becomes a whole nother storyline. So that's a whole nother option, because I think that they want to keep her for another thing coming, you know, because
I mean, like, come on, if he can get hit by a car, maybe a bullet would just ricochet right off his head.
Well, and that was what I was thinking, but that's why I was thinking he could be blinded, right? Like, the bullet might not have gone into his eye, so it's not even necessarily a permanent thing. It's like just hit him and he's just blind.
And then Daredevil comes, now you know my world. Yeah. He's like, where are you? I don't know. I haven't been blind before. Oh.
And then you find out he's actually better at it than Daredevil. He's just like, I didn't know that this was a skill that I had.
Or I thought that what they would have shown which they did not, obviously, because in the post credits or credits or whatever the fuck, they would it would have been Bullseye.
Yeah,
Bullseye shot her. She didn't shoot him. Yeah. Bullseye shot her.
They really shit the bed on their post credit scene. They did not care. I was like, that's all.
Everyone doesn't have to have one. It's actually kind of refreshing when there isn't.
It was fine. Well, it had one. But it was just that musical number from
Rogers the musical.
Rogers. But you know what was interesting?
I'd go check it out.
So the main guy, actually, they're doing it at Disneyland. Apparently, they're doing like a little mini Rogers the musical. But to me, I was like, it wasn't even Rogers the musical. Steve Rogers was not a huge part of that musical.
Well, you got to base it on somebody. It should have been Avengers the musical.
Yeah, exactly right. But the main guy who was singing in it was actually the guy who played Roger in Rent.
Oh, no way.
And I recognized the voice. I didn't recognize the guy because I've only ever really seen him as a younger rock guy kind of thing, right?
I enjoyed how they the Hulk's just a guy in green face paint with a green hoodie on.
I loved it. Yeah, it could not have been
I'm like what the fuck?
But I think they were trying to do that.
Of course.
They were trying to
cheek. This is the shitty Broadway musical that's based on.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like what they did with Rent, where it's like it's just a table on a stage. That's all we need, right? It's like bare bones, right? It's all like, so it was funny, and it made me laugh. But then to hear a whole song of it, I was just kind of like, all right, I'm over this already.
Oh, I watched the whole thing.
I watched the whole thing, but I was just like, like at the same time, like you said, it didn't need to be something. It didn't need to be something else. I thought
it was funny.
I think that there were other things. I guess they shot one that they didn't use, which I probably would have liked better, and it would have been more of a closure piece on that one tracksuit mafia bro and his girlfriend.
Yeah, well, thank you for the good friends.
Yeah, I guess they shot a scene with him and his girlfriend.
That would have been way better.
So I was like, that would have been like, because it doesn't have to be like something to further the story, but that would have just made me giggle more. So that was that, but it was a great series. I'm always sad to see them go because they're only like 6 to 8 episodes long. Or whatever,
I agree.
But it's the only way you're going to get those dudes to agree to do it and potentially agree to come back.
Yeah.
Right? So I understand it's a worthy sacrifice to make. Like I said, like Todd was saying, it's his favorite. I
loved it.
I'm very apples and oranges. Like, they're so different that I have a hard time like comparing them.
Right.
And like there's certain points in all of them where I was so like, oh god,
the worst one was Bucky and Falcon.
See, and
absolutely the worst of them all.
I
enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
But I have to say, if I had to say which one was better, that would be my lowest pick.
Yeah, and see, I don't know. I was like again, for me, like that one had some really good high points, and then it was the same as all of them. Like Loki, I loved, had some really good high points, and then there were a couple of points where I was just kind of like dragging a little, and they all did that at a point where you're just kind of like, I think Hawkeye had the best flow because it started slow and it just got faster and faster and faster.
I didn't find any point of Hawkeye where I was like, it's getting a little sloggy here. Like, my first thoughts were like the first episode. I'm like, we've only got 6 episodes. Like, get into it, right? Like, really, like dive in.
And I'm like, no, that's not how these things work. You establish characters, you do that, and I let it go right away, and it was fine. But then other ones have like had it up and then a down, and I'm like, no, I don't have time for the down. We're going up.
Once we found out that oh my god, there's one scene. It was in the first or second episode, and it has Vera Farmiga in this red maroon dress thing.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I was like, man, they never showed her off when she was in them Conjuring movies.
Yeah, I know.
But holy shit, I saw her in the scene and I was like, dear God, look at her.
Well, this is why she played the mother in the that Psycho prequel TV show.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, it was so sorry. Yeah. But her boyfriend... You're like, what a schmuck. He's
Jack.
the bad guy. And then when it flips and you find out he's the good guy, I loved him.
That was exactly what I said. Exactly what I said. I said to her, I was like, instantly all the things you hated about him because you knew he was obviously the bad guy were instantly endearing. You're like, he wasn't trying to deflect or anything. No. He was just being a nice guy.
That's right. He was just doing, and he's like, oh God, and he's like fighting people.
Oh,
he's like, you find it funny that Buddy died by a sword and now he's here wearing a sword?
Yes.
So like maybe he's doubling down on the fact that if he's wearing a sword, he didn't do it.
Yeah, I love that. And
flax, they call it flax or whatever, right?
The characters they chose were just fun. Like even the LARPers and stuff were just like they were great. They did such a good job.
I thought too that I thought maybe it was going to get out of hand, like I said, and somebody was going to show up. I thought somebody.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, who helped you? Oh, these LARPer guys helped me. You know what I mean? You imagine like, I don't know. I just had this whole stupid daydream thing about Hawkeye telling Thor about these brave warriors. Oh, and then he goes and finds them LARPing and absolutely loves it. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, totally. And he's like, oh my God, these warriors,
Oh my God, that would be
That's why I said just a stupid,
That's the post-credit scene you want. Yeah. He comes back to LARP and he's like, oh, you came back? He's like, yeah, I brought a friend. And Chris Hemsworth comes out.
Exactly.
Oh my God, that would be funny. At
the shows, I guess.
So might as well stick to Marvel and Disney Plus just stick to Disney Plus for a moment. The Book of Boba Fett, by the time this comes out, the first episode will have been released.
Ooh.
So that is exciting as all hell.
Yes, it is. I'm ready.
Yeah. So I'm jacked for it. It's actually, as of right now, it's like an hour and a half away from being dropped here.
It is?
Yeah, something like that. It's like 10:30. Oh. I don't know. It might. Some of them drop at 2 a.m. though, so I don't know. We'll have to see.
Why? But to make up for time zones and shit?
Couldn't tell you.
The fuck is that?
I don't know. Maybe that's just when they wake up to do it. But who knows?
They want you waiting.
Yeah.
Like when you're waiting for money in your bank account, you're just like, where are you? I owe this guy. He's standing here.
Yeah. Hey, bro, trust me, bro. But yeah, so I'm really excited about that. I read an article that Joe Johnston, the guy who designed Boba Fett, was all upset. And I was funny because it was like my first assumption was I saw this thing
about seeing his face.
Yeah. Right. But my first thing was what the person on the video I watched was. I thought that was their first thing too. Was he's mad that he repainted the thing or they changed up the armor a bit. No, it's that he shows off his face. And then the guy's response that I read, it's the perfect response. It's like, yeah, because you wouldn't want to see the face of the guy who's been determined to be the clone of Jango Fett, whose face we've already seen.
That's exactly
and all the other clones whose face we've seen. It's just
that's literally the point I was going to make. I was like, aren't they all the clones? Isn't he every one of the army there? I still don't agree with that. I think that's some sinister, the bad guys use robots, but now you're just going to sacrifice all these people.
Oh no, I hear what you're saying,
man.
I hear what you're saying.
Those brutal Jedi, you can't love anybody. Come on, what the fuck?
No, it's not that. It's not even that you can't love anybody. It's the reason that you can't love somebody is it's going to turn you to the dark side, or it has the potential to turn you to the dark side. And sure enough, they're right, because the one time you see a Jedi fall in love, it turned him to the dark side.
Love to kill.
Just
love to kill.
So it was, so it's like, I get that. And yeah, no, I totally hear what you're saying with the whole clone thing. It's one of those, it's almost like the whole, it's like the whole cattle kind of argument.
Right.
It's like, why are you eating these things? It's like, they wouldn't be there to eat if we weren't farming them to be in the first place. So it's like, it's kind of like that. argument. It's not a good argument. It's just an argument.
A animated comedy show about like one of them starts a union.
Yeah.
And like they're tired of,
Yes.
like clone number 8,049. He's like, I've had enough.
And then Jedi Council member Obi-Wan Bezos comes and shuts that shit down.
From space.
Gets into his space penis and flies away.
Like Flash Gordon.
Precisely.
Flash Gordon. Yeah, Flash Gordon.
That's the funniest thing is Flash Gordon flew around in a rocket ship penis, and Jeff Bezos also flew to space in a rocket ship penis.
With the Shat.
With the Shat, that's right.
He's going to be a Comic-Con man, and somebody's going to get some space something from him.
Oh, I certainly
You think Omicron's going to be, boy, you see like Space-acron.
Yes. The Unicron.
Oh, shit.
You turn your head around and you just have more faces on you.
I could dig that.
I'm not I'm
eating for 3 faces now. Don't judge me.
Now the problem is I always have to look like this, so you always see my good-looking face. Like this is the ugly face is the front one. Ugh.
I don't like the other two, so like I only want to talk to this one because the other two are fucking assholes.
Yeah.
I can see that being a problem.
I'm facing this way. The other one's looking. The other one's looking at you, going, "I fucking."
Yeah.
Yeah, but so I'm really looking forward to that show though, and like if John Favreau and Dave Filoni have given us nothing else, it's nothing but faith in them.
And I remember watching the credits of Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Downton.
Yes,
and I was like, where the hell was Downton? But he must have been watching it in the TV.
Happy's favorite show was Downton Abbey, so it was probably playing on one of the TVs.
I hope
when they came in
that all of you Marvel Universe people watches Downton Abbey. I literally today
everybody
just finished the whole thing.
Yeah, they're actually part of the same universe too.
Of course they are.
They mentioned very briefly. They mention Doctor Doom in one of the and how one of the barons is from
Latvia. Like in Downton,
yes.
That's what Latvia, where Doom is from.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Again, I always want every show to end with some little subtle thing that says it's part of a whole different universe. It is like, like I said, I wanted everything to end with the Transformers universe. Like, where it's just like...
Sir Optimus Prime is here to see you.
Bring Ultra Magnus around. It's time to go on a trip. We're going to step away very briefly from the Marvel and the Star Wars and all that.
Is there anything else?
For Canada, just because we've discussed it recently, it's already out in the US, but MacGruber is coming out in Canada in the next couple weeks. I currently have the screeners because I'm reviewing it, and I'm preparing, potentially, fingers crossed, to interview Will Forte and Kristen Wiig for CGM.
God. Oh my God, that would be amazing.
So we don't have a confirmation on that yet, but that's potentially what's going to happen. And if that happens, I'm allowed to use the footage for here.
No way.
So we will show you that on
that's
one
fucking
of our mini episodes. So yeah, that's cool. I'm actually really enjoying it so far. I didn't know until like really late.
Oh, you're watching it?
I've seen the first 4 episodes already.
Oh, okay. What? So what do you think?
I'm enjoying it a lot. Now, again, you need to rewatch the movie to decide how you really feel about it. Because if you still don't like it, you're not going to like the show. The show, actually, I didn't realize until like I was really late in the game, though, that it is a direct sequel to the movie. Like it takes place. He has been in jail for 10 years. because of how brutally he murdered Val Kilmer's character. And he gets brought out of jail by Lawrence Fishburne, who plays this general who wants him to perform this suicide mission, which is essentially he's going to get traded in to be the exchange person for the president's daughter.
Oh, like they need somebody to switch in the
for some like terrorist organization, So there's that, but like people in it, Sam Elliott's in it, Billy Zane's in it, Ryan Philippe and Kristen Wiig are back in it. Who else?
What's Ryan Philippe looking these days?
He looks fine. He's
the same.
He's like still younger than he should be.
Exactly.
But
he's got like the Ant-Man disease there.
Yeah, he's looking good. But but yeah,
I notice how I call it a disease.
It is a disease. But basically. If the character survived the first movie, they're in this movie, and I was blown away.
They gotta bring Val Kilmer back.
They killed him pretty, they disintegrated him.
MacGruber, for fuck's sake.
I know. The whole movie actually, or the whole show starts with a like a musical.
Who's the bad guy?
A musical recap. Right now he's dealing with Billy Zane, who's the leader of this group of people who were under MacGruber,
right?
And he left them to die, but it's because MacGruber found out that they were like trying to like sell or like use some like
do
chemical warfare thing.
Blah, blah, blah,
so
right.
it was actually for a good reason, for a change for him. But it's like
for a change.
Yeah. But it's it's all the same kind of it's all the same tropes, all the same hits,
right?
That you got from him the first time. No like rehashed jokes.
Oh, good. I was like, you're gonna tell me that he puts broccoli in his ass again.
So far, no. But like, there's just like a lot of like, you know, him being selfish or whatever, right? And it's I'm having a lot of fun with that. I'm looking forward to finishing that up in the next.
What is it on?
It's on Peacock in the US. Here, it's actually on Showcase. It's going to be debuting on Showcase on January 9th, and it'll be available via Stack TV on Amazon.
I think we have a free Showcase right now.
Oh, there you go.
Like if you don't have Showcase,
yes,
it's on.
Well, I do have Showcase, so I wouldn't know the difference.
Maybe it's Bravo. I don't know. It's been what's it called all day. One of those goddamn shows that I don't watch.
So yes, that's that. And now, because we have nothing better to do than to talk about more of it, is more Marvel stuff. I guess a lot of rumors have been going around that Ghost Rider's coming back to the MCU.
Where did he go?
So,
to Nick Cage.
Yeah, well, no, because even after that, there was another Ghost Rider in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., played by Gabriel Luna, who was amazing. He was playing the different Ghost Rider, though I can't remember his name now.
Like 15 different characters for every character now. For God's sake.
Well, that was the thing. It was like the like in the comics too. It's one who's a Latino guy who he traded or he like sold his soul to save his brother, and so he becomes the Rider. And he like drives like an old Dodge Charger
like
or
Vespa,
whatever it is,
like a little Vespa.
That would be amazing too. But he drives like a Dodge Charger or something like that, and it's got like the flames coming out of the car. And he was a badass Ghost Rider in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. though, and rumors are that he might be the guy to go. But then also there's rumors that Norman Reedus might be Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider.
Oh, I got you.
So
you said Johnny Blaze. I thought of the Human Torch.
Yes,
but I don't know. That really threw me off there.
I don't know.
In the comics, recently Frank Castle is now the Rider.
That's cool.
And apparently Ghost Rider's really powerful. Like he's really fucking strong.
Well, he's like a demon and shit.
Yeah, that's why they put him in with. He was in the Defenders.
Yeah.
Where it was like him, Wolverine, Spider-Man, and Hulk.
Yes.
I was like, holy shit, what a team.
Yeah, that was, there's no team that beats that team.
Christ.
There's no
I think every now and then like Silver Surfer joins them for a larf.
Yeah, who is another mega power.
I am dying.
Oh no.
For
it's a horrible way to get this news.
Both another dudes. AIDS is back. I just lost everything now. I should have said that. I apologize. I know it's not, it's not as big as it was, but still.
Yeah.
Right on.
Pour one out.
For pouring for my homies.
All right. Anyways, you are dying to see.
Oh, the X-Men and Doom.
Oh, yeah.
I want a real X-Men movie because, I fucking hate those pieces of trash from that pedophile fuckface. Fucking Bryan Singer. And I'm dying to see who they cast, and I just want to see a real, But Doom is like my favorite. My favorite villain is absolutely Dr. Doom, and I can't fucking wait to see who they get.
And nobody has done him right yet.
No. Like, he looked cool in the other ones, but he still wasn't. They didn't really.
He wasn't him. I'm looking forward to that as well. There's so much to go. But then also, we've got Secret Wars coming up. And rumors are, that the Russo brothers are in talks to direct it.
That's wicked.
And they actually... they talked to one of the Russos on the red carpet, and he was kind of like, really, again, you always know when there's something going on because of the way they react. They don't say anything, but they don't they don't convincingly say the negative either. He's like, what can I tell you, man? Like, it was like that kind of thing, right? And I'm like, yeah, you're totally being talked to about it. If not Secret Wars, another Marvel movie.
I hope, I'm sure that in the Secret Wars, they could introduce characters too by bringing them in that way. But I think that they should wait to do Secret Wars until X-Men and they're all because in like in the Secret Wars it was the Beyonder that brought them. He saw like a little rip in his universe, and he like looks in and he's like, "Oh, look at all these cool guys, like little Spider Dude and all these dudes." So then he brings them all over, and Doctor Doom takes over the Beyonder's shit.
Oh no!
And then he gets his face back and everything.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like such a super cool. Because he's like, who dares to take the Beyonder's power? Only Doom. And I was like, fuck yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'm very curious to see how they how they tackle all these new characters.
And I'll tell you right now, total spoiler alert. When they do this Secret Wars movie, there will be a cameo from either Iron Man or Captain America.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think probably more than likely Captain America.
That's what I would be guessing too. Yes.
But it's a I feel like that's inevitable, and
you can pluck him from back in time when he was. That should be a show too. Maybe he's sick of it, but the fucking show should totally be the time that Captain America experienced when he went back in time and lived with Haley Atwell.
That would be amazing.
Putting the stones back,
the two of them together.
It must have been awesome. He must have fought some dudes.
Yeah,
who knows?
Well, there was actually with our next movie, that was actually a question of. Because somebody claims to fight Captain America and is there a chance that he fought him in this new past, this new timeline kind of thing? But anyways, that's neither here nor there. There were a bunch of rumors too for Multiverse of Madness that all these other things are going to happen. One of the things that they rumored was Tom Cruise as a Tony Stark variant.
Oh my God.
And,
holy shit.
So
if my penis was literally any bigger, my pants, you would just see my pants fly off.
I have no I have no real thing other than literally it was just a little video thing going rumored things that might happen, and it's based on nothing. But
could you see Tom Cruise running in the Iron Man suit? My God!
See, he would
thrusters. He's like, I don't care.
See, here's what would happen if Tom Cruise was Iron Man. Iron Man would be flying and he'd be hanging onto the outside of him, and he'd be like hanging by one arm,
suit,
and you could hear the director going, "You're Iron Manning wrong," just screaming at him.
Tom Cruise doesn't do anything wrong, okay, motherfucker. Mr. Russo, come on.
Yeah, and then he just lets go and falls, and then just lands face first into the ground. And he's like,
Who is you that? It's Ben Stiller.
Yes,
Ben Stiller.
Still one of my all-time favorite lines of a thing. Remember, it was the MTV
Movie Awards.
And it was what they were talking about Mission Impossible 2, and it was him, John Woo. He was
Tom
supposed
Cruise,
to be his
stunt
stunt double. And then he goes, and you jump towards the camera, and then you look towards the camera and say, "Hey, this mission just got a hell of a lot more impossible."
And I totally remember that was back in the day when it was really good, and you'd have Ben Stiller or Jack Black hosting the thing. So obviously he's got the clout with.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I know because they're trying to work the scene. They got motorcycles, and he's like, "Hey," he's like, "Did you jump off this cliff?" The camera zooms in to your face. You look right in the camera and say, "Yeah." It was
never better than when Ben Stiller did it, because Ben Stiller went the Ben Stiller show on it. He did if you've never seen the Ben Stiller show, by the way, go watch. It's still to this day one of the funniest.
Find it somewhere, right?
It's I have it on DVD, but it doesn't stream anywhere. But it should stream everywhere, though. It's friggin'
It is totally awesome.
It's a very short-lived thing, but it has some of the funniest sketches I've ever seen in my life.
And if I'm not mistaken, weren't the writers Louis C.K., Stephen Colbert, and
that's you're thinking Dana Carvey show.
Oh, that's a Dana Carvey show. Also very funny.
Also very funny. And also only lasted that one only lasted 5 episodes.
Yeah.
But this one was written by Judd Apatow, David Cross, Bob Odenkirk,
right,
who was also a performer on it.
Yeah.
It was just a mega. Dino Stamatopoulos, people who don't know him, he was Starburns and Community. He was also one of the first writers on Conan. For the late night. That was another cast. The writers for the original late night was Robert Smigel, Louis C.K., Dino Stamatopoulos, Andy Richter. Who else? There was just these when you look at the list now, you're like, whoa, that is the mega powers of writers.
The mega power. I just saw the Mega Maniacs, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, and a returning Hogan.
Yes.
fighting Money Incorporated.
I always loved the mega anything when it was just,
especially in chocolate bar form. Like mega Snickers, like carried over his shoulder like a 2x4. I'm like, fuck yeah!
Like, I think my attitude even then, and I was maybe 9 years old when the mega powers exploded.
They certainly did explode.
I feel like my attitude then was, you didn't even fucking try to do this. Like, you would have been better off just calling it the Macho Man and Hulk Hogan tag team.
Yes.
Like, good God.
Of course they had to fight over Elizabeth. Like, my God.
But that was every pay-per-view with Hulk Hogan up until like WrestleMania, like 12, like whenever he left. Every single one was, we were friends, brother. What are we doing? Because they did that like 6 times in a row. It was him with Andre. It was him with
he had to really get that across because they didn't have back then. They didn't have like the multiple shows. Yeah, they literally were just like, you're fighting Andre at this next event. Yeah, and you got to get it across right now. One promo. Yeah, it was good. He did a really good job on the promo.
I know, but it was always so funny because they always went from being friends to being enemies instead of just being enemies. The enemies
like
who were
wrestlers
just inevitably coming towards each other. Yes. You know, it's like I'm the number one. Like, you know, if you sell Andre as a bad guy right off the bat, and you just have them coming at each other, it's like, I'm coming for your belt. There's nothing you can do to stop me, and you just have him ripping through people. And being like, there's nothing you can do, and then have him jump in a couple of things like here and there.
And then
or even at one of those like barber shops or whatever, Piper's Pits
one of those,
or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And
then
then
one of the shows,
and then like a dude, Bobby the Brain comes in and starts trash talking him, and then Andre takes 45 minutes to get into the ring and then slaps him on the back, and you know how it goes. But
the narcissist just showed up.
Oh fuck,
Lex Luger, the narcissist.
I know.
Oh my God,
I could tell you
in the mirrors.
I could tell you exactly where I was when I saw that WrestleMania. Man, I was in this bar watching it on closed circuit TV.
That is fucking amazing. Closed circuit TV.
And I remember like my cousin, who was a lot older, knowing who Lex Luger was and all this stuff. And I'm just like, who? Like, this is, I don't get this. And he's like, no, you're gonna love it. I'm like,
look at how greasy.
I disagree. But
look at all that grease.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about next week, because I think we went off on enough tangents.
I think so too. Yeah.
We next week are revisiting the MCCU, the Miscast Commentary Cinematic Universe of MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, because we got to catch up from time to time, because shit, they keep making them. You know what I mean?
They keep coming out.
So the first one, we left off on Spider-Man Far From Home.
Wait a second, sorry. Also, it's like awesome to just do 2 movies instead of having to do 15 to 20.
Yes.
Which was, wow.
That was a stretch.
Something.
That was a stretch.
Okay, anyway, all right.
But anyways, so we are back with Black Widow next week. Let us take a listen to the trailer.
I tell people my sister moved out west. You're a science teacher. Your husband, he renovates houses. You're thinking about moving, but you're gonna wait until the interest rates go down.
That's not my story. Before I was an Avenger, I made mistakes. And a lot of enemies.
His call sign's Taskmaster. He controls the Red Room. They're manipulated, fully conscious, but no choices.
I should have come back for you. How many others are there?
Enough.
We have to go back to where it all started. So they never do that to anyone again.
We're a family. We fight with you.
You won't win.
I've always found it best not to look into the past.
Okay, you got a plan, or shall I just stay duck and cover?
My plan was to drive us away.
Well, your plan sucks.
At some point, we all have to choose between what the world wants you to be and who you are. choice. I'm done running. Here's what's gonna happen.
Natasha, don't slouch.
I'm not slouching.
You're going to get a back hunch.
Listen to your mother.
Oh my God, this...
Up.
All
Listen.
right, enough. All of you.
I didn't say anything. That's not fair.
All right, guys, Black Widow. I'm excited.
And he just ripped a burp into the microphone like 5 seconds during the preview.
That's not even what happened, though. Because you heard a preview.
Yes. Maybe your burp was the preview.
No, because I wouldn't disrespect it like that.
Could that be like that's your superpower? Like when you burp, it's a preview for a movie. It's full on.
My superpower is the world's most average penis.
What? I think we have the same superpower.
It's the most. No, yours is average. Mine is the most average.
The most average penis.
It doesn't go on either side of the scale. It is right on the line. So perfectly.
You saw the Suicide Squad, right?
I haven't seen the new one yet. No.
What?
I never really cared, so I didn't.
Seriously?
Yeah.
It's a James Gunn movie.
I know. I haven't gotten around to it.
Oh my! It's fucking awesome.
I'll tell you what. I'll watch it this week. Then.
Good, dude. It is fucking awesome.
All right. I'm looking forward to it.
I can't believe you never saw the movie.
Nah.
Well, you will love it.
All right.
And then you will know why every girl goes as Harley Quinn for Halloween.
Am I in it?
Yes.
All right.
You play King Shark.
Finally.
You're voiced by Stallone.
Oh my God. I'm the body of King Shark.
Yes. He's awesome.
And I just like that. I
Also,
wasn't
he's
the voice
a CG
of the CG
character.
Yeah, I wasn't the voice of the CG character. I was the embodiment of the CG character. I'll take it.
King Shark's the man.
I'll take it.
You watch the movie. It's fucking awesome.
I'll go watch the movie and I'll be happy about it and everything will be great.
I'm really shocked, actually. I knew that you were going to say the UNC because we never spoke about it.
Yeah, no, I don't know why. I just was like, whatever. I'll catch it later. I didn't prioritize it.
You don't know nothing about it, then you should watch it. John Cena's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, they're all really good, to be honest with you.
Give it up for John Cena.
Yeah.
Well, it's good that John Cena was good because they're doing a spin-off on him, so he better
Peacemaker
have been good, right?
HBO show, yeah.
So that's coming. So watch out. And speaking of HBO, a lot to cover on HBO as well. Harry Potter is doing their 20th anniversary
reunion. Is it like
on the first?
Like the Friends one where they just like get together?
Yeah.
That's fucking lame.
Well, what are they going to make another
fuck?
movie?
Like, whatever. Like, do something.
Yeah.
Sitting, well, what have you been doing? Oh, nothing. Remember when you were this guy? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's...
Okay. Like, they could
nice
do
to see
something. They should
like
do
what?
like a spin-off.
You're just going to... Hey, we're getting back together. We're just going to whip together a quick movie for you.
Not a movie. Like a holiday special. With the Muppets.
Yes. That would be amazing.
Like, come on.
It's the Harry Potter, it's the Hogwarts holiday special with Diane Carroll.
Totally. They don't even have to be in it. Gonzo could be.
And Tim Conway as Dorf. Written by Bruce Valanche.
What a Dorf on Wharf.
Yes. Oh, finally.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're talking. See, at first I thought your idea was stupid. Now you just fixed it. So,
that's right.
I'm on top of it. The other thing to look out for, actually, as of tonight, as of our recording right now, it is out. So by the time you hear this, it will be available on HBO, and HBO Max is Super Bob Einstein, it's called.
Oh.
And it's a documentary about Bob Einstein, who is Super Dave Osborne.
Osborne.
And it has got basically anybody who's anybody in comedy is in this documentary, like paying tribute to the man, and he was awesome.
It was great in Arrested Development too, but who wasn't? Like,
that was the thing. He was such an interesting dude. In that, like, even when he wasn't really putting everything into it, he was still hilarious. Like, he was in friggin' Ocean's, 13. And he was funny in it.
He really, and I think he's in Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, he's in tons of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Totally fits so well into that. Like, he has that sarcastic, I don't give a shit vibe that like totally that fucking Larry David totally has like, and they totally feel like I feel like the two of them would be so perfect like to sit, you know, and like listen to them talk. You'd just be like, Jesus Christ! Like
he did 2 comedians in cars getting coffee with Jerry Seinfeld as well. If you want to just see him be him, and then
Super Dave,
and then realize that he is exactly what he is. Like, he's been the exact same dude that he is in Arrested Development, and it's so funny. He's such a purposeful asshole.
Right.
Like, he's not an asshole. He's a perfectly nice guy, but he's gonna grind your gears. And
I like that.
Oh man, he's so much fun.
Grind my gears in a day.
So that's a very worthy thing to check out if you are so inclined and are into comedy. Even if you don't know the man, he is
he's good.
He was a big part of comedy for a long time. He was a writer for a lot of things, wrote for the Smothers Brothers. He was out there, baby. He's out there.
Bomber,
loving every
bombs at midnight.
Yeah. Oh God. The Tick. The Midnight Bomber when Bombs at Midnight was one of my favorite all time.
He says, yeah, baby, you're everywhere.
I'm making gravy without the lumps. Every bad guy in the Tick is better than anything almost anybody has ever read.
I agree. Fuck, man, I always see, this is when we always talk about what we're going to do as like a cosplay or whatever. It's like, man, I should go as Dinosaur Neil, man.
I'm going to go as...
Or anybody.
I'm going to go very improbably as Chairface Chippendale.
Chairface Chippendale.
So good.
Or American Made.
Yeah. That was the thing. That was the one. My only disappointment with the Tick, the original live action series, they really kind of like they weren't there with the bad guys.
Oh, in the show.
Like they had
the
good guys were good. Like this was the Patrick Warburton one I'm thinking of, not the other one.
Sewer Urchin.
But they had like who was it? Like they had Batmanuel. And and stuff like that, which was good. And it was just, but the bad guys were always like they just weren't as out there as the other ones. But that might as well just end it.
Scene where he's like having a daydream or whatever, and the dog, and it lands next to him. He goes, "I love you."
Yes, and then he just goes right on. That animated. There's your things. This is literally as we're doing this, as you're listening to this, it's New Year's Eve. If you're listening to this the day it comes out. So here's some things to dedicate yourself for 2022. Go watch the animated Tick if you've never seen it. Go find yourself some Bob Einstein if you've never seen it.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, guys. That's going to be it for this one. We wish you guys the happiest new year. I know it's a hard bar to actually set right now. It's been fucking bananas.
Whatever. Fuck 2021. Get the fuck out of here.
Get out of here.
2020. Get the fuck out.
Let's get rad in 2022.
Agreed.
All right. It's almost all 2s, and that's got to be something. Although with extra 2s, that might mean that it's extra shit, but I'm not going to,
we're way in the future. When you watch any movies that we watched on here, we are so in the future.
Yeah, exactly.
That future's even past.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
Damn. All right, guys.
Beyond.
But anyways, happiest of New Year's to all of you. Thank you all very much for your support during 2021. And we're still going to do it. We're not at each other's throats yet. So what the fuck, guys? All right. We'll see you next week.
This has been Miscast Commentary with your hosts, Joe Finley and Todd Murray. Executive producer, Joe Finley. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen. Visit www.miscastcommentary.com for all news related to the podcast. Miscast Commentary is a Miscast Media production.